Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Or at least we're welcoming ourselves back. Do that show on Friday, Lubie. That was not Lubie sabotage, by the way. It was just a misunderstanding. I didn't realize that I had already acknowledged that we were going to do that show about a week before, and so I'm skipping around on Friday morning, thinking everything's cool. I'll go to the track there, do the Mayo show, and that'll be that. Ease my way back into this stuff after about almost 14 days, 9, 10 days off, something like that. And sure enough, I got a text from Lubie. Hey, I sent you the link. I'm like, what link? What are you talking about? And there you were doing the show with the professor, which was great. So sorry I missed that one. Good to be back with you. And hope everybody had just a fantastic holiday period of time. We enter the next quarter century here in the 2000s. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Underplayers probably all over. The idea that I'll make it to 2050. It's weird looking at your own mortality, Lubie. And you get a glimpse of it every day because every day, instead of checking the race results from Aqueduct, first thing I look at is the obituary column. So I'm going to find people I've either admired in my lifetime, or known well. And it's the old Twilight Zone episode where one day you get tomorrow's paper and there's your name in the obituary column. What are the odds? I didn't think I would make. 2000 seemed like a long shot when I realized I was going to be 49 years old. You're thinking about this in your teens. Will I make it to 2000? I don't know. 49 seems like an elderly senior citizen. And then 2025. But 99, it's Horace Copeland time. Gino Toretta back to pass. 99 yards. So I got to go to 99, Libby, to make 2050. Any chance? Are you giving me any shot? My mother made 97, almost 98.
Look, you've cleaned up your act a great deal compared to the stories you've heard of the 80s and 90s. You live a healthy life. You get a lot of exercise these days. So I think anything's possible, sir. I know you put a number and the Greek puts numbers out there. I don't know if I want to live to 120, but I can definitely see mid to high 90s for yourself.
Jersey Kyle's father, the great Frank Martinez, in the New Jersey Sports Hall of Fame for his work at third base around the third base bag. Says nobody makes it out of their 90s, which, if you considered the number of people that make it to 100, it's a pretty small percentage. Who was the weather guy that used to do that all the time? Willard Scott.
Willard Scott, good for you. Yeah. I was like, it's a W. I couldn't get
He was one of those guys that had like hair on two sides of his head and a big giant bald spot before it was popular to be bald. I mean, he should have just shaved off the side things and it would have looked a lot better. Anyway, good to have you guys with us. What a crazy period of time we've had in the world of sports. I don't know how many windows you want to open up here, Lubie, but
there's a lot.
We'll start. I mean, if you thought the NFL was lacking in entertainment quotient, a lot of people, oh, man, it's boring. Every game looks like it's fixed. I didn't see that last night. And it was interesting because the game was rendered meaningful. It turned out there was going to be for a playoff spot. And not only a playoff spot, but a chance to host a game in the wild card round, which is coming up next week, begins on Saturday. Got the matchups already set. The two bye teams turned out to be the Denver Broncos, which had to be a little bit of a surprise to people. I didn't know if they were going to be able to sustain that because they don't score a lot of points.
No.
Bo Nix, for as highly touted as he was last year, I don't know that he made the same kind of progress that we saw from Drake May. Certainly, the New England Patriots offense looks far more dynamic than anything that we've seen from the Denver Broncos. Defensively, though, Denver's right there, and they achieved the number 1 seed. Sean Payton, wow, turned around a miracle.
That's crazy.
Created a little bit of a miracle there in the turnaround. This is what you're looking for when you bring in a coach, is it not?
Well, look, I mean, it's funny, the dichotomy from that one game. What was it? Was it 2 years ago? 2.5 years ago now?
Yes.
The Dolphins win. They scored over 70. Did they win by
70 points? Yeah.
They won by 30-something or 40-something in a game where they scored over 70. Best offense in the league. Their defense was playing good football at that point. I think that was around that time where they were leading their division. It was a new era. What you're seeing from the Patriots this year is what we thought we were getting from the Dolphins 2 years ago.
Yes.
From that point on, I think the Dolphins are under 500, and now the Broncos are the number 1 seed, and the Patriots are the number 2 seed.
I don't know how you could deem the Mike McDaniel era as anything but a failed experiment.
Massive failure.
I understand, and 7-10, these kind of results are just absolutely pathetic. You can't have this in your 4th year.
No.
Where Sean Payton, that's a great illustration, Libby. 2 years ago, you're getting hammered here by the Dolphins with Sean Payton as your coach. You work in a new quarterback since then. a guy that you drafted that was a very suspect draft in terms of
Yes.
thinking that there were franchise quarterbacks available, generational types. And then on top of that, you have a complete reversal of form where Mike McDaniel has taken his team and buried them back into a sub-sea of mediocrity. And Sean Payton has taken his team and elevated them to the number one seed in the AFC in a year where we saw quite a few surprising failures as well. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, not making the postseason. Nobody could have anticipated that. Baltimore Ravens, one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Imagine tearing up those tickets. At what point did you start tearing those tickets
Oh
up?
God.
Had the future on the Ravens. Oh, yeah, I think this is the year Lamar Jackson's going to do it. No, this was not Lamar Jackson's fault last night that they didn't make the postseason. And he had a pretty solid performance, especially under pressure. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be finished, but I would have to say last night's Ravens Pittsburgh Steelers game, I don't really have any overwhelming interest in either team in terms of rooting interest. I was sort of rooting for the Ravens in this game. I don't know why. I guess because it seems so unfair that Carolina, these are the inequities that happen in sports, and it's cyclical. So I don't know that you need to get upset over it. You don't need to start making all kinds of rule changes. Hey, we got to look at the whole playoff system. I'm not sure I'm on board with any of that kind of logic. But nonetheless, I mean, when you see some weak team with a sub 500 record that ends up hosting a playoff game against a team that had a real good performance but didn't quite make it to the number one seed and they bye in the first round of the playoffs. I'm rooting for fairness there. So I'm thinking Pittsburgh's going to end up hosting a home game. Unbelievable. Had the Ravens won it, they would have been division winners also. So they would have been at home as well.
Yes.
And so I guess it really didn't matter. I mean, you're just looking for an entertaining game. I was flipping back and forth from that game early on because it looked like Baltimore was going to dominate with Derrick Henry. First half was kind of a slugfest. And then that fourth quarter was a spectacular, a seesaw affair, as I think we've witnessed all season long. It was just absolutely amazing. Jackson gets him in a position after a big kickoff return, 55 seconds to go. How do you feel about this statement that you get constantly from color analysts? And it happens in virtually, I don't know that they do it so much in hockey because the time equation in terms of the clock evaporating is not quite the same. You're down 2 goals with a minute to go. It happens once in a while, but in all likelihood, you're losing that game. But how many times you hear it? And last night there were 55 seconds left in a ball game when Lamar Jackson gets the ball after, I guess, the kickoff. But even prior to that, and you always have the color analysts say, well, 55 seconds, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. I love when they do that. I'm like, I haven't had a quarterback where I felt that way since 1999.
A lot of time. A lot of time for what?
I'm like 2 hours.
You'll get a sandwich?
That's over.
Resign yourself to a loss? What are you talking about? That's a lot of time. I understand you have 3 timeouts or whatever.
Feasible.
It's not a lot of time, Troy. I'm sorry.
It's not.
He's not the only one guilty of that. Everybody does it. In the NBA, they do it too. There's like 12 seconds to go. Your team is down 8. Well, 12 seconds in the NBA. That's a lot of time.
Forever.
It isn't. It's not a lot of time. It's very little time.
It's little time.
Turn over the hourglass and put 12 seconds on the clock there. It's evaporating
exactly.
in the blink of an eye, my friend. Anyway, it gets him in the field goal range. Not only field goal range, but has time to even run a play and center the ball. And so with 3 seconds to go, they bring this guy out there. What's his name? Loose? Is it Loos? As in
Loop? Was it
Loop?
Loop?
I mean, yeah, Loop.
I think it's Loop.
May
Loop
as well have been Lose.
be more fitting.
Guy never misses. And of course, whoosh, there it goes, as if it had a gyroscope in it, off to the right there. Looked like one of your drives, Lubie.
Yeah, honestly.
One of those celebrity tournaments there. It was going straight for a second and then way off the right. Way off to the right. So very entertaining conclusion. And that sets the final position there in the postseason, which gets underway this Saturday. Wildcard weekend was always my favorite. I sort of liked it when it was more conventional. And you had 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Now you have an extra game. So you're going to end up what? You end up with 2 games Saturday. Is it 2 more games than they used to have in the past? Yeah, I think so. 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and a Monday night game, which is kind of weird, Lubie. What do you think about that? Is that fair to the teams that are playing?
First of all, no. I mean, it's a playoff. So, I mean, the Saturday, Sunday thing already messes with the day. So now the Monday team is 2 days later, which but also, and I get it, they're just trying to stretch this season out, and the college both have found a way to stretch football into February. So it's impressive.
Soon, it'll be year round. I don't think people would mind though. Football definitely rules.
UFL, they're already starting to try to promote the UFL and make it year round. If it's not year round with the offseason stuff, that is sort of taking everything by storm. And literally, as an FSU fan, the transfer portal offseason is the only thing I have the last 2 years. It's just a lot. Like, to me, you have the Saturday, you have the Sunday. It's okay that seasons come to a close and new seasons open. Like, it's something you always say. It's like, just because it's the off season, and friends of ours have talked about, you can talk about other sports. We've made it so like, no, it's just football. We can only talk football. Football's all the time.
It's over. You run the draft. I mean, it's like Pro Bowl. Played on the beach, a flag football game in Hawaii.
They don't play on Monday. Like, it'd be okay if you just had a Saturday or Sunday. Like, it would be
okay. From this standpoint, though, I mean, I don't know when I would imagine they give them as much time as possible. I'm assuming by the second round, there's no Monday game because you're going to have less games. But is it fair to the team that wins on Monday night to have to come back and do it on a short week in the postseason? That seems... Seems a little bit of an inequity, does it not, there, Lubie? Unless they had a subsequent Monday night game, which I don't believe that's the case. I'm thinking this is the last one of the Monday night football games. Anyway, we're not involved, and that's another window we need to open up here, Lubie, on the local scene. And this is Black Monday, after all.
I hope it is. I hope down here
it's not happening, Lubie. I'm telling you. We would have heard rumblings already.
That's my problem. It's
all indicators are going the other way, my friend. All indicators.
You left him there under the guise of, okay, well, let him prove himself. Okay, which to people like me is annoying because you're giving him a chance. Well, all he did was prove that people like me were right. He's not the guy. They finished, 2-5 the last 7 games or something like that? Like, they've lost.
Two real embarrassments sandwiched around. I mean, total embarrassment sandwiched around that win over the Buccaneers, who were floundering at the time. And you had a decent effort there, but nonetheless, what was that yesterday? I mean, that was just total dreck. Total dreck. I mean, get blown out like that by a New England Patriot team that still had some incentive, thinking that they might end up with the number 1 seed. So they had a reason to try and pour it out.
Oh, look at the score. They were trying.
Yeah. They had to. They had every reason to believe that there was a shot. I guess the Chargers really had nothing to play for in that game, so they rested Justin Herbert. Yep. And essentially handed the Denver Broncos the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. So let's take a look at a few things here before we get into this whole McDaniel. It is Black Monday. We already had Raheem Morris get canned.
Yeah.
Are the Falcons sorry that they didn't hire Bill Belichick, who was supposedly sitting there as maybe the only other guy besides Morris? That they must have never wanted Belichick. Remember, there were so many rumors that, he's going to get the Falcons job, Belichick, a couple of years ago. And you're thinking, who in their right mind at that time would take I don't care if you thought that Belichick was a shot fighter and he wasn't doing well with personnel or whatever, and maybe he was some guy that was impossible to work with because he wasn't going to take any advice from any general managers. He was going to call all the shots, wanted complete control. So, some of those issues would be legitimate. But would you ever in your lifetime think, hey, I had a chance to hire Bill Belichick or Raheem Morris? And you would say, you know what? Raheem's got some really good qualities. No way. Would Belichick have done better with the Atlanta Falcons? We have no way of knowing. Raheem Morris didn't do well enough to retain his job after 2 years, so he's gone. He's the first casualty of Black Monday. That happened.
They're probably saying, what did we do? There's a guy now 5 hours away in Jacksonville that 2 years that at the time was the offensive coordinator in a place 7 hours away in Tampa that it's going to be a really good coach in Liam Cohen. And he was already having success with the Bucs when they made that hire. Raheem Morris, a guy who is now was at his 3rd stint as a head coach. Like, Cohen has done a really good job. Now I get it. Was it year 1 with the Jags? So maybe they weren't ready to hire him.
That's a hell of a turnaround, though, too.
I mean, what he's done is impressive there, and Atlanta's been searching and searching and searching. And I don't know I don't know if anyone feels bad that they didn't hire Belichick. I mean, at this point, like, he's not the same guy, and he's at a different stage of his career. It's interesting to see the coaches that came in this year and turned things around. Ben Johnson, the guy that everyone wanted, there was a reason they wanted him because he did a hell of a job with the Bears. Liam Cohen, a guy that I never really heard of, done a really good job with the Jags. Vrabel,
I'm assuming he's Jewish, Lubie. Is he the only Jewish head coach
It's
since Marv Levy?
Coen, so I don't know.
No?
It's not
Okay.
the Jewish, something like Ken's last name is a Jewish last name, but there's this spelling that is a more Nordic spelling, not Jewish. So Coen, Coen. He may be Jewish. I'll look it up, but it's not Cohen.
See if he's a Jew.
Cohen and Cohen. I'll see if he's a tribe.
We need somebody from the tribe to be a successful coach.
But it's just annoying. It gives people like me more firepower to why I'm okay with firing coaches, because even if you don't know who you're going to get, sometimes you fall ass backwards into a great hire. Yes, Ben Johnson was the guy everyone wanted. No one was talking about Liam Cohen.
Ben Johnson fell into a decent spot, though, because I guess the executive of the year is probably going to be the Bears GM.
Yeah, he's done a great job with the defensive offensive
But
line.
I remember thinking a couple of years ago after the Bears made this trade for the number 1 pick. Remember, they traded out the number 1 overall pick?
Yes.
And they ended up getting like 100 number 1 picks back. And they were in a pretty strong position. Their showing last year really didn't indicate the kind of strength and muscle they had in terms of draft capital and maneuverability under the GM, who was being praised for putting them in that position. And so that also helped. I mean, Mike McDaniel coming to the Miami Dolphins didn't really benefit from that, although it did seem like Chris Greer had capitulated to most of the things, the desires that Mike McDaniel had put forward, including the commitment to Tua Tagovailoa, which now, I mean, how ugly does that look? Where you literally are being strangled by the fact that you believe in this guy who didn't even play for you in the last few games of the season. I'm a big fan of this, though, Lubie. I don't know if you caught this. I ended up having action on the Indianapolis Colts getting 10 and a hook against the Houston Texans, a team that we have pointed out as a possible long shot to win the Super Bowl. Although every time I say that, it's one of those things where you're asking somebody, how does this shirt look, Louie? And they know it looks like crap. And they go, hey, yeah, it looks all right. But you're very reluctant to acknowledge. You just don't want to tell the person. Like a woman coming out of the, out into the light there. You're going out, and she says, "Do I look fat in this dress?" I mean, there's no good answer for that.
No, that's actually there's no good answer.
Is that the worst
answers? Whatever you say, because the other thing is, no matter what you say, even if you mean it,
you're a loser.
You're a loser. They're not going to believe you, and they're going to be mad at you.
You're just saying that.
You're just saying that.
No, you look great.
Yes, I am. I am just saying that.
Because I don't want to answer this stupid ass question. Yeah, of course you look fat, or you wouldn't ask.
I want to go.
No, you don't look fat. Maybe you do to yourself.
You look beautiful.
No answer to that question.
Freaking go.
I was taking some flack. I don't know. I kind of like this shirt. I wear it frequently. I actually was wearing it for a brief period of time on Saturday at the track. And then because I barely wore the thing, I just hung it up on my rack there thinking, okay, I'll pop this on Monday morning. And I won't have to go through the usual very difficult wardrobe decisions, which includes can't wear that, can't wear that, can't wear that. And okay, here are my 2 choices, neither of which are particularly favorable. I don't know, Lubie. What do you think? Do I look fat in this shirt? No.
No, you look wonderful.
Yeah, tough questions to answer. There are some very difficult questions to answer, not the least of which, if you're talking about sports and local sports scene here with Mike McDaniel, is what has he really done since he's been here? Where are we from where the team was at 4 years ago? Now, you did lose Tyreek Hill early in the season. A lot of your offensive schemes and schematics, whatever, were based on Tyreek Hill being in the lineup. And even though Jalen Waddle is an excellent player, it's not the same as having both Hill and Waddle in the lineup. Offensively, this guy's generally regarded. I mean, you hear everybody talking about it. How many references were there made to the idea that Mike McDaniel might not be back on talk shows, game commentary, articles, whatever you've seen about the Miami Dolphins? Almost every article has to, and every reference is alluding to the idea that Mike McDaniel may not be back next year, and it's probably a wise decision to get rid of the guy. The only person, I don't know if it's the only person besides McDaniel that doesn't think so, seems to be Stephen Ross. And whoever he has now in the schematics of having a front office structure that would possibly how confident do you feel, Lubie, in this offseason that the Miami Dolphins have the structure in place? They brought in Troy Aikman as a consultant to try and find a guy to be the general manager. Is Troy Aikman that plugged into the league?
I don't know. I mean, he's more plugged in than some of the guys that they've dealt with. At least he's called games consistently this entire time, which has him around teams. And he has to be sort of clued in when you're calling games.
He talks to a lot of people, huh?
He's better than like Carl, whatever, who hadn't been the Chiefs GM in 20 years, or Marino.
Peterson, yes.
As much as we love Marino, he's pretty clear Marino has never wanted.
You don't want a guy whose last success was in the USFL.
Yeah, like at least he's involved. It seems like his heart's tied to the Cowboys. So like, why would he really help I don't know. I never understand anything Ross does. The fact that this thing has lingered like this is moronic. And again,
some schlep that you never heard of, that just happens to be like a Greg Cosell type.
That would make me more happy. Someone who really knows the game and has been clued in. I don't know. The fact that the McDaniel stuff still lingers makes zero sense. Again, I just asked someone who's actually high on McDaniel. Name one positive ending this year. Name one. Achan. But like, what's one positive theme or trend? Like, every angle sucks. So like, I just don't. What do you're bringing him back for? One, like I don't. There's no buyout issue like college. Like, this isn't that. So what are you? I don't get what is the positive to bring him back? What continuity?
I didn't see any reason. I mean, we reference this a lot, and it's true. Worst job in all of sports, teaser horse at a stud farm. Second worst job right now has to be that poor woman in Guam who's working the boiler room for the Dolphins ticket office and doesn't even speak the language, but is forced in whatever language she's well versed in and uses as her main means of communication. And they have an AI translator that ends up, hey, Manny from Miramar. I tell you what your best bet is? Why don't you renew your season tickets right now and get $1 off parking for every home game? And what a schedule it's going to be. We don't have it yet.
Like, what do you sell? I don't get it. Like,
nothing like going to a game in a blazing heat and watching your team just give a lackluster, we don't really give a flying one effort with inferior talent that you're thinking any minute now the blowout begins. You don't want that. That's got to be a tough job. That's going to be a tough sell. So is it an easier sell if you get rid of McDaniel, or is it just that wouldn't logic dictate that if you were looking and weighing this guy's accomplishments as a head coach after 4 years, as you said, and as Dave Hyde, and this still stands out, something that happened right here on the show, where the Hyde man pointed out, Dave Hyde of the Sun Sentinel, that it seems like every Miami Dolphin coach / executive is one job above what their real capabilities are. What was suited for?
It's so funny because Greer used to have, there was this cult that defended Greer because there was some of his picks actually hit. I mean, first of all, they were all high picks, so I would hope they hit.
Once in a while.
But the funny thing is, think about any of those picks. Name one of those picks that's better than the players that were drafted around him. Name one. Because the Tua one doesn't work anymore. Waddle doesn't work. Waddle is barely a number 2. He's not a number 1. And you're drafting a guy top 10 and you're paying him that money. That's number 1 money. That's number 1 draft. Yes. To draft a receiver is like safeties. You draft them top 10 because they're ridiculously special. Like, you don't just draft receivers top 10 like that. So to take a receiver top 10, to then pay him second contract money like that, he's not supposed to be a number 2. Hill was out. Waddle was supposed to be the number 1. He was fine. He's not number 1. So like, even the picks he supposedly hit on, he didn't. Chop Robinson's he went backwards this year. No one even knows.
Where was he, man? He got chopped up.
The kid this year they drafted in the first round. That again was a second, third round.
Who did they even draft? I mean, I don't even know.
Look it up. Kenneth Grant. Okay. He played better at the end. The defense played better. But again, then you watch the second half yesterday where the defense literally falls totally apart against a good Patriots offense, but not star-studded. So it's like with a second-year quarterback who's played well. But again, if you're a great defense, you should make his life difficult. Like, he just have
and the lackluster, I mean, just total lack of desire. This is why I brought up that Colts game, not only because I had action on it, and it was fascinating. Getting 10.5 points against the Houston Texans. You're in a perfect position the entire way. Andy came out to a Brews Room watching this game. It was the only way to make the game interesting was to have some kind of action on it. Andy's insane, by the way, with his in-game betting. It's amazing. I mean, he's all over it. But that's probably because of his habitual trading work that he does, where you're constantly what is he? He's like making these moves by the minute. He's like Vinny Viola there. Well, we found a system where we can. It's kind of like my friend that we haven't done a show for a while. My friend
Yeah,
Frank
yeah.
Miramani was telling me about this. This is kind of interesting, Lubie. What's happening with the in-game betting? How
Okay.
insane it is.
Yeah.
So Frank tells me that, and this he has firm verification that this is being done not just by some individual group, but by many people that are gambling and using this in-game system now to make money. And they actually send a guy. I would like to be this guy. Maybe this is a way to do play-by-play. And they send a guy to a game, like if the Lakers are playing the Bulls, let's say. They send a guy to the arena there, and the person, all they do is they do a play-by-play into their phone the entire game. Because somehow the in-game betting is a split second behind it. This is just what we were talking about with Vinny Viola. He found a way to beat the
Watch it.
system where he was getting information a split second before other people in the stock market, and they made a fortune by unloading, knowing that the thing was going to go up a tick like a second later, and then they're out. And so people are hiring guys like at $500 a game to just go to the game and go, LeBron with the basketball left side on the wing, passes. Inside, and look at that. You got Reeves with a dunk.
The score happens before it's registered, so you have enough time
There
to
you go. You know the next thing is
and
a
make a
three-pointer.
bet. Do you still have that? But doesn't it still? I guess if you have the app, is that what it is? You'll just have it
You
open
must have
waiting.
to really be quick, I mean, to do this, Libby. It's not
It's
something
not
for
that
me where you're
behind.
going, what was that again? He made the
Yeah, it's
three-pointer?
not like a 2-minute delay. It's
No,
like
no,
maybe
it's
seconds. Like
split seconds. But as I said, I mean, if you look up the history of Vinny Viola's financial dealings, that's how he ended up making a fortune. They were a split second ahead through various means of getting these transactions, and they were able to go ahead and essentially invest in a sure thing. So, and that's what some people are doing. I guess that, and the betting entities are aware of it, but they're making so much money off schmucks like me
I don't even do.
that they don't care. It's like, okay, there's nothing we can do to shut these guys out. We can't keep the guy from doing. Imagine if you're at an arena and you're doing this play-by-play into the phone, and they come and confiscate your phone. Two guys in DraftKings slash ice jackets come just take you the hell away. But yeah, that's one of the things that's happened out there in the degenerate world. So Andy's doing that, and I'm trying to get home the Colts plus 10 and a hook against the Houston Texans, and they are covering this spread almost the entire time. Every time it looked like things might get away, they would come back with an amazing score with Riley Leonard at quarterback.
Yes,
Riley
yes,
Leonard,
yes.
who you're thinking on almost any play he could get flagged for not having his pass reach the line of scrimmage. I mean, made Josh Heupel's arm look like it was the snake Kenny Stabler. And I'm sweating this out because, and it's true, the place was mostly empty. The Dolphins were playing a 4:00 game. The 1:00 game seemed of little consequence to most of the people there. And you've never seen a place with that much room. Of all of the Sundays, I went there probably 12, 13 weeks out of the football season, and I'd never seen it this empty, with this little interest. And looking around on the screens, like nobody's focused in on anything except me, riveted to this Colts game with the Texans. Riley Leonard at cornerback, he's distinguishing himself very well. Actually played a hell of a ball game. But what I was looking at, and see, I talked about this a lot over the years with you, Lubie, and I just believe that I don't care what your record is. I don't care what the circumstances are. You want to see your team go out there and play with some level of desire and heart.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's the thing. That's supposedly why McDaniel is safe, is that he hasn't lost the team. And I'm
How
like,
did
he
he
keeps
not
getting
lose the team?
blocked.
Did you see him?
What is the definition of losing a team then? Because his team comes out playing lackluster football almost every game. Even the
Buried by the
won.
Bengals a couple of games back. Buried.
Like, what do you like? Hyde said that, and Perkins said that, and I'm like, I guess it's true because that's clearly what we keep hearing, but that's not what the game is showing. Like the players don't look like people who are playing hard at all.
It's crazy, right? But anyway, so that would be my measuring stick, and I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at a guy that had two promising first years to begin his career.
Yes, yes.
Looked like the Dolphins, at the very least, were going to always have an explosive offense with this guy. You saw the regression of Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback. I don't know if that's on McDaniel or the player, maybe a combination of both. because if anything, you would have thought McDaniel was the number one guy, and he infused more confidence after Brian Flores personally tried to destroy Tua Tagovailoa's, shatter his entire mentality and approach to the game. McDaniel could not have been a bigger advocate. It's kind of like you in your radio career, where in the beginning, I still remember this day when the program director, and he was only there for 3 days of the time we were working together, Ken Charles.
Yeah, you didn't work with him long. That's so funny that you got the full Ken Charles experience, and you barely worked with him a week.
3 days, not even a week. Yeah, I mean, I got called in to do something that was not part of my job description. Work an extra 10 hours for nothing. First day, which let's face it, I'm glad I went to that thing because as boring as it was,
historic.
From story and visualization standpoint, I still remember the people pouring into the now Kaseya Center, waiting the announcement. Well, I mean the introduction of LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. That happened the first day I was on that job. I think that might have even been like July 5th or something, my birthday. I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit after that.
It was early July, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, the guy comes in. He doesn't even come in himself. This was a guy that was very authoritarian when it came to, he wasn't afraid to tell you, you blow and you're out of here.
Oh, no, that's what he did. He did very old school radio / management techniques.
Sends Jerry Hester in instead, the assistant PD at the time, who, if you were going to have a good cop, bad cop, that was kind of the setup there, where Ken Charles was the heavyweight. He was coming with the sledgehammer. And you didn't necessarily want him charging up the hallway because it usually wasn't to tell him, hey, that was a great show. I hope you can do that again tomorrow.
Never good.
Sends Hester in to tell me, never let Lubie crack open a microphone. Never.
I was going to stay there. Like, what did they think I was going to do if I wasn't involved in the show? Sit there as a board op?
That's really interesting, DeForest.
And then what are you going to do?
Why don't you just keep talking? I'm not going to say a thing.
So weird. The people in management don't know what works. I will never understand that.
It's crazy, yeah. I mean, we were just getting started, so how did they even know what was going to happen?
We were having fun, and people liked it. Early on, people were reacting well to it. So it was
very well, yeah. So anyway, and of course, you blossomed into an integral part of everything that we were doing over the next 11 or so years. It was great. Nice little run there. And they still hated us, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I guess because we were doing good things.
Yes, we didn't do what they wanted us to do. We weren't defiant, but we would slowly morph back into what we knew worked and knew they had no idea what they were talking about. So.
Well, and, in many ways, it was high level stuff by comparison to any of the stuff that you got on the local scene. Not that we're beting our chest; it just was. I mean,
it's different. Yeah,
well, you always were talking to, the connections we had, the way that they enjoyed being on the shows. It was something that you could take a lot of pride in. The reason I bring this up, I mean, with McDaniel, you thought, okay, this guy, just let him do his thing and see what happens.
Yes.
And maybe it'll work out. And it looked like it was going to work out. But over the last 2 years, you've taken such, not even giant steps. These are quantum leaps backward.
Yes.
Because you're also nowhere after 4 years. It's not like you're sitting there going, oh, well, geez, if Hill hadn't got hurt, this team would have gone to the Super Bowl. No, far from it. No identity as to what it is you're doing. Your $50 million quarterback is riding the bench. And there isn't even much of a movement to bring him back into the starting lineup. Is there, Lubie? I mean, do you hear the people on the streets, or are they going, you know what, they really ought to put Tua back in there?
No, it's the opposite. Everyone's just assumed he's done.
I hope they find him face down floating in a canal somewhere off the intercoastal.
Hard to fathom a trade. If they let go of him, it murders them financially. And he was so bad in people's mind that it's already done.
Incredible. Yeah, you think you're like El Pescador, the fisherman. You're going to find Tua just floating out there in the ocean a few miles away and create quite a stir there among the public about whether he should be here or in Cuba. So you're nowhere. I don't know. I don't think he's going to get fired. Everybody seems to, the sense I'm getting, which is just a consensus of things where different people are reporting this, that, and the other thing. It does seem like that there's an inclination, I think, on the part of Stephen Ross to bring this guy back. So that won't be part of Black Monday. I don't believe. Mike Vrabel, clear-cut Coach of the Year, Louis. Is there any question about that?
I mean, Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson.
Does Peyton deserve consideration, or is there some?
Sean Payton, yeah, the Broncos were an okay team too. and they still their offense is and they're winning with defense and being smart. I mean, those are the three. But yes, the Patriots went from a 4-win team to the number 2 seed and not making huge deals. It's not going to make blockbuster deals. They just were smart in the offseason. Yes, you would think he would probably be coach of the year.
Interesting. I mean, you can make a case for a lot of guys, but the case I would make for this Shane Steichen, right, Indianapolis Colts, is that even though they had no chance whatsoever, essentially on paper, with Riley Leonard at quarterback to compete yesterday with the Houston Texans, a sleeper team to win the Super Bowl, they're playing their eyeballs out trying to win this ball game. I did not see that from the Miami Dolphins on a number of occasions, and therefore, Lubie, as Mark Cuban would say, for those reasons, I'm out. Sayonara, Mike. Interesting guy at first, but it seems to be. I don't know if he's lost the team, but he's lost the faith of the people that thought he was going to be some new and innovative genius. Maybe genius doesn't work. Maybe you just have to be a little bit old school, right?
It feels like you need a little bit of both, is what it feels like.
If Harbaugh and Tomlin could be spoken of in the conversations of possible Black Monday victims, or targets even. I don't know if they're victims. They're making a ton of money. Then how is Mike McDaniel not also, even higher up on the step ladder of consideration there? I don't know. Anyway, that's our local team. We're going to come back in a moment. We're going to get into the Canes. There was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, as I said, many windows to open here. We were probably overdoing it, worrying about Mike McDaniel because I don't know why. I would bet every dime in my pocket he may get fired like within the hour. It's possible. But I'm thinking he's coming back. They don't want to mess with this level of success. Why would you want to do that, Lubie? Why would you want to tinker with this now? Got to be crazy. And how does he line up in training camp with Tua like 5th on the depth chart? It's insane. Where's Cleo Lemon? Cleo! Yeah, think about this. This Steichen still had his team playing after they had Phillip Rivers at quarterback. They had to bring a guy in off the streets who was 44 years old, and they hung in those games. It's pretty amazing. That's what you would want to see. Some kind of pride attached to the effort late in the game against the Patriots, not an El Faldo. And McDaniel, again, like this with the play card.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, Mike, watch the game, man. Your team's getting killed out there. Why don't you take a look at the field? That is the strangest thing, isn't it? How do you coach a team and you never look at the field?
He never, or he's never, again, I say this every time, he's never talking to anyone ever. Like, it's never. So weird to me that he's never conversing with anyone ever.
You saw Tomlin last night, how pumped up he was when they scored that touchdown, and he's talking to everybody. And you're asking, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy. I mean, does Tomlin strike you as being effervescent, where he would be real chummy with all of his players? No. He's so matter of fact. I mean, he's almost as matter of fact as Belichick, and as angry as Bill Parcells at these press conferences. Insinuation is always there that, well, geez, you're only talking to me like that because I'm a black head coach. What are you talking about? I don't know. I mean, I always see like these connotations. Maybe it's me imagining it, but it does seem like everybody wants to. The guy's never had a losing season, and every year they're talking about this should be it for him.
Because they plateau. That's the thing is you want to win, but you don't want to hit this plateau, and that's the Ravens' problem is they've hit the other side of the plateau. The Steelers found their way into the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. Again, as a Dolphin fan, you wish to have coaches like that.
Yeah, I mean, imagine somebody that can actually win consistently with less talent than you possibly had on your roster. Anyway, I saw somewhere somebody referenced that the Dolphins starting lineup and the players they had would not make a USFL roster back in the day.
Oh, Jesus.
The guys they had out there yesterday. So not a lot of hope. All right, Canes still alive. A lot of action on this. I know the professor has a little taste going at like 20-1. Did we miss? Did we completely whiff on this, Lubie?
I mean, I believed how I felt, so I don't feel like I whiffed. But yes, I was vastly wrong in every opinion I had about you.
They mow down Texas A&M. They mow down Ohio State, and then we have to get into this whole Ryan Day thing. My God, there was a rumor adrift that Ryan Day was going to be the Giants coach. Is that even? That was just a fabrication.
I wouldn't want him. The guy can't think for himself. He lets his pride get in the way too much. I wouldn't want him near an NFL roster.
How condemning is it that when you decide to call your own plays at Ohio State, that your team turns in one of its worst efforts of the season on the back of also laying an egg against Indiana? Unbelievable. with supposedly the far and away like the best talent we've seen since that '83 Nebraska team, where Irving Fryer was a scrub. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. We'll talk about the college football playoffs, what's going on there. The Hurricanes still very much alive on the local scene here. That's a lot of fun. And many other things happening on Black Monday here. Good to be back with you. Any other coaches? What do you think? Who else is in trouble here? McDaniel, Aaron Glenn, they're going to give him another year, right? After this 3-14.
They've already said they are. I mean, I guess it's not his fault, really.
Mike McCoy, is it McCoy in Tennessee? Tennessee, horrible season. Not much development out of Cam Ward. I guess he showed in spots what he's capable of doing, but not enough. Pete Carroll's got to be gone, no? Las Vegas, they're not going to bring him back. That'll be a mutual parting of the ways where Pete just says, for the good of the team, I've decided to move on, something like that. And John Gannon with Arizona. What chance does he have of coming back?
I don't know. They just keep – it's a cycle there.
Yeah, I mean, they could have virtually Officer Bill Gannon coaching the team, and it wouldn't matter. It's a Dragnet reference, probably archaic. All right, so we'll be back with more in a moment. I'm Jeff DeForest. That's Mike Lubie. Glad you guys are tuned in. Say hello on the chat line so we know that we still have a pulse here, and we'll be back with more in a moment on that. The time. It's 8:45.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe B.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
She hit the daily.
Very calm. Think it through. If you need a little help, don't gamble in anger.
I get a panicked phone call, and he says, "Do you have any extra cash?" I go, "Yeah, I brought money with me to Atlantic City." He goes, "Well, I can't get any more out of the card because the Mustang went wild and emptied the daily allotment of cash."
Double nickels, man. She went for a nickel on her card and a nickel on mine.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Well, in Las Vegas or any gambling destination, Atlantic City, I guess, would be one where there's literally almost nothing else to do except eat saltwater taffy and realize that it's not good for your teeth. and gamble, and then you see everybody lined up at the ATM machine at the stroke of midnight because they can re-up on their cards. They're naturally, if you're a responsible gambler, which they always tell you to be, and we don't necessarily encourage that. Because why not just lose it all at once? And so many ways to lose, Libby. So many ways to lose, including betting against the Miami Hurricanes, which we wanted to get into. We've talked about the crystal factor all year long, and I do appreciate some of the comments here on the chat line that we have, and we always welcome anybody's ideas here. Libby, you do a pretty good job of responding to a lot of these people. Brian says, nice shirt. Andy, we were talking about this yesterday, and they did it. The New York Jets accomplished something that's never been done in league history since it became a statistic. They went through the entire season, now 17 games. We're not talking about 12 games in a leather helmet. We're talking about 17 games, Libby, the entire season with a big, fat, round number in terms of interceptions. They got no interceptions on the year. It's never been done.
He's a defensive guy. They didn't get one interception by accident. Quarterbacks just fling stuff by accident.
some lineman pops one in the air, and your guy happens to catch it. It bounces off a helmet like it was David Tyree.
Oh my God.
By accident, you have to get at least as a team. Not talking about one guy.
Yeah.
As a team. All right. How do you have no interceptions in 17 games? What does that tell you, Lubie? And like you said, Aaron Glenn, Mr. Defense. This was a guy that Detroit defense was overwhelming.
Yes, they would lose a guy, and the next week a guy would come from. He played for Alcorn State as a corner 4 years ago, and then he would like be in the playoffs, winning them a game. Like, yeah, he was amazing at being a defensive mind. That's weird.
Oh, Sheldon said nice shirt.
Sheldon said the nice shirt.
Yeah, nice shirt. Thank you, Sheldon. He's a man of taste and means, so I definitely respect that. All right, my parlay went up in smoke right away, so I got to re-up now. Do I re-up with Minnesota and the Houston Texans? I don't feel great about the Texans winning the championship. Watched them yesterday. I don't think they're better than all of the other teams in the postseason. Now, they don't have to play all of them, naturally. They do have to win, 4 games to win the championship here. They're in the wild card round, and then you go next week, Super Bowl. So they would have to win 4.
And the Steelers, look, they'll be at, I think they're on the road. They have to go to Pittsburgh, but I mean, that's not the worst matchup.
No.
An older quarterback against a really good defense. The Steelers have had their issues on defense. So, yeah, I mean, Watt's been in and out with injuries. I guess it's doable. I just don't see them going all the way. That's my problem. It's just hard. I don't know. The AFC is weird. It's hard to see. It's funny. The AFC seemed like the dominant conference a year ago, and now it feels like actually this is the Bills' year. They're a wild card team. Everyone's forgotten them. You have all these new blood and like the powers this year in the AFC. That feels like this is the year the Bills would like come out of nowhere. And
for some reason, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't know why. I mean, now that I said that, there's a pretty good chance I would unload on the Buffalo Bills to go ahead and win it all. But do we buy into Jacksonville? What do we make of that with your man Liam Cohen, who, by the way, is not Jewish? We find out on the chat line.
He's
not a Jew. Okay. Houston favored by 3 on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Crowd was great last night also. I mean, they were waving the yellow towels. Who was the guy? That was Pittsburgh's announcers. Who was the guy that was
a hockey guy? I don't remember his name. I know there was.
That was Mike Lang. Was the hockey guy?
I don't know the Steelers guy.
And it felt like a hacksaw just went across my neck. That guy was great, Mike Lang. Steelers guy.
I don't know the Steelers guy.
Come on, he's a classic guy.
Ernie Harwell. Like I don't know.
Harwell was a Detroit.
He was Detroit. Like I don't know the Steelers broadcast guy actually.
He was the guy who came up with the thing, and then Rick Weaver claimed that he came up with the white towels. It was right around the same time, so this goes back into the 70s. Anyway, and I end up using Georgia at 5-1 as the first leg of my 2 parlays I made, 2 $10 parlays, like a fool. And at the time that we did this, Jesse, my son, who made the bet for me, and was in on it also for his own amount of money. And he said, we may as well just roll this up and throw it in the streets. We had, and Georgia was going to be the start of it. And I was already fantasizing. You know how you do about winning the Powerball and you're going to divide up the money. I'll give Lubie $1 million. I'll give Paulie $1 million. That kind of thing. Is $1 million enough if I won like 500 million? No.
I don't expect anything.
Would you get $1 million from a guy and then still consider him a cheap effing bastard?
Probably. There are people, yeah.
Imagine that some guy hands you $1 million and you're cursing him out. That's the way of the world. I guess that happens from degenerate gambling standpoints. But how, Lubie, in hindsight, the best time to handicap is after the result is already in, and nobody better at post-race handicapping than me, Lubie. Where I told you the 3 was going to win. He's going to get through on a rail there, skip his way between horses eventually, and get to the wire by a nose in front. A desperate lunging nose under the guidance and the pressure being applied by one Irad Ortiz. How do I not have the Hurricanes to kick off this parlay as well? I mean, for another $10, take a shot, Georgia, and your one long shot. Always play your one long shot that has a shot. No, that has a chance. How stupid do you have to be now at this point? Because look what's happened here. I believe you get a much more favorable matchup, Ole Miss versus Georgia. Georgia just can seem like they could pound you into the ground there. And
it's weird because Georgia is like does what Miami does, and they have the better coach. So would Miami lose against that? Or Miami's now facing a team that does what they've struggled against. So is that worse? Because that's the thing is the two people keep saying, how did they lose to SMU in Louisville? That's how they lost. They played a running quarterback who also was accurate, and they scored points instead of missing 2 games in a row where quarterbacks just missed wide open guys.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't in those games. And that's the funny thing is I was defeated a little bit as a guy who's been very much against Miami when Georgia lost, because I agree with that. I'm like, Kirby Smart's a better coach. They do what Miami does, but they do it better. Yeah, but this year that's not the case, actually. The teams that have tried to do what Miami does lose to Miami. It's the teams that don't do what Miami does that Miami's actually struggled against. It's the teams that make their defensive line work. It's their teams that can't just pin their ears back and rush the passer because the quarterback can run. It's the teams that the quarterback can run around and still try to make passes. It's the teams that have receivers that go up and make plays.
Yeah, that's
the thing. Ole Miss actually has done that. No one wants to give them credit for doing it. But the Chambliss kid, he's now had 8, I think, games of 300 yards plus. Like, that's a real number.
He was great in this game, this victory they had over Georgia. He had a series. I think they scored like on a 3-play drive where he made 3 spectacular plays. One on a wide variety of stuff too. He hits like a shovel pass when he's under extreme pressure, and has rolled as far to the left as he possibly can go, and he just flips the thing and makes a play. And the receiver also does a good job, powers ahead for a few more yards. Then he does a Fran Tarkenton where he runs 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, starts doing V8s and all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, it looks like he's trying to outskate Brian Boitano there with a couple of double axles, and somehow squirms into a position where he fires one down the field and makes a big play, a big gain on that. And then the next play, I think they scored. And this was also on a nice pass by Chambliss. So, kid, if that's your scouting report, Lubie, that teams that have this kind of quarterback, colorful, sort of innovative, and able to do Mahomes-like type of stuff on the run, are going to give them problems. I could see that, right? When you're essentially counting on just overwhelming your opposition there because your D-line is much stronger than...
And they have a big, strong back.
Offensive lines.
Which the Canes have been dominant against a run. The Ole Miss has been able to run the ball with Lacey very, very strong. I don't... Yeah, look, I would lean Miami. They're the favorite in this game just because of who they've had to beat. The fact that they've just done it with sheer will and physical force versus a team that just...
I mean,
Cristobal, Cristobal has stayed out of the way. It seems like you would
out coaching Ryan Day, by the way.
We talked about it last week.
Got out coached in a game, though.
2 weeks ago, I really believed that Ohio State would win and win easily. My thinking was Ryan Day would do what he did last year, where he got punched in the mouth by a team that was physical. He'll learn and he'll just use his talent advantage and just blitzkrieg them. No, he saw a physical team and tried to out-physical them again, which is weird. This Ohio State team isn't built that way. Like, they're built to just beat you, run up and down the field, try almost Miami Hurricane style, like the 80s. Like, they have so much speed and talent that by the time you're ready to push them around, you'll be down 2-3 scores. Like, Ryan Day, no, he's not going to beat Mario Cristobal at being physical. Like, he's not. Like Ken talked about when I was with him Friday, he talked about on Mayo's show and with all of us, like, Cristobal is really good at coaching up physical. He did it at Oregon. He's doing it in Miami. And Ryan Day, for some reason, wants that to be the case, but he hasn't won with that. So it's like he keeps going to that well in these games.
Sugar Ray Leonard going toe-to-toe with Roberto Duran in Montreal. Didn't work. Good fight. I mean, put up an effort, but ends up getting smoked, losing one of the biggest fights ever in terms of anticipation going in and people's interest in knowing the result. Comes back the second time. Now Duran was training on Pink's hot dogs, I think, before the fight. He might have been eating a couple of Lucky Dogs. That was in New Orleans. You think he stopped Duran on his way to the arena and had 2 Lucky Dogs? 2 Lucky Chili Dogs would be more than enough to impede any chance you had of beating Sugar Ray Leonard when he decided, this time I'm going to dance. And that's what Ryan Day needs to do. Never mind this. But look, and then that obviously was some AI hoax then, where I saw that Ryan Day, I sent a text to my friend Mike Mike Jones, Giants fan. I mean, he literally bleeds Giants blue, and very sad. And he was optimistic about things he saw this season. That's how much of a Giants fan this guy is.
Oh, well, see, that's the thing is,
And it said he was going there, though. It said Ryan Day was going to be
that
there.
one, Ryan Day. But the Giants are in a place where you can feel optimism. It's right or wrong, I don't know. But Scatterbo, Jackson Dart, they can stay healthy and learn to not play like a linebacker. Like the defensive line is freaking loaded.
Yeah.
Like
who's the guy, Thomas, the tackle? That guy, when he's in the lineup there.
Andrew Thomas has played a little bit more and showed his value. He just gets hurt a lot. The guy formerly of Georgia. I know that Abdul Carter hasn't lived up to expectation, but again, he's a talent, so you would hope he would figure it out. Like they at least have stuff. That's why when I said, "What is the positive for the Dolphins?" Because you can be bad and still positives. Like the Dolphins don't have any of them. The Giants do. Now, again, I wouldn't put Ryan Day there, right? Look, what he did was the Canes, and again, I'm not trying to hate on the Canes. Like the Canes played their game and it worked, and I was wrong.
Oh yeah, and
they won. But to me. And the fact that Ken didn't disagree with me as a Canes fan who was confident about the Canes. Now, again, that's why I was confident, because he felt the way Ryan Day coached against Indiana. He's like, he might do this thing. No, not wake up. Remember, Ken was the one that was confident about it.
Of course.
Ken was like, when I was like, yeah, the Ryan Day factor, and you brought it up, and he's like, yeah, that's the thing. The Ryan Day factor. Cristobal at least is going to do what he's going to do. Like Ryan Day, you don't know. You don't know what he's going to do. And like that would scare me as an NFL fan. Like he doesn't know who or what he has. Like you have to coach to the talent you have, not to the talent you want to have.
Yeah. He had a step over toe hold on the offense the entire time. Lousy play calling.
It's just weird. They chuck it down the field once. It works easy. It was a horrible throw. And Jeremiah Smith was so open. He comes across the field to catch the ball and still almost score. They didn't do it again. They didn't do one of those again. And I get Miami was getting after him. But he was not getting hit within the first second of saying hike. He was taking 3 or 4 seconds. So throw it down and again, I'm not even an Ohio State fan. It's just confusing to watch a coach. It's what Carolina fans probably thought about Michael Jordan, looking back at it, because he wasn't Michael Jordan at the time. But like watching a coach hold back their own player bothers me so much. Like
college coaches, that have elite talent and a lot of success in terms of one-loss records, maybe even a championship like Ryan Day has. For some reason, I don't see this guy being a pro coach. I mean, if I'm it'd be like, I thought at first it was a joke, and then I'm looking at it going, wait a minute, could that possibly be true? And sure enough, but anyway, that being said, Cristobal out coaches Ryan Day. You would have to give him the credit there. As much as we knocked the guy, I mean, he played a much more solid game plan, or put a much more solid game plan out there, and they were able to go ahead and make it work. But look at the road now with 20-1 before the playoffs, maybe even higher in some circles. And we don't have a little taste on this. They get the better of the matchups, you would think, although as you very eloquently illustrated here, Lubie, it's probably not the more favorable matchup, because it's a style issue that they've had more trouble with than some power team trying to smack them in the face. And then they get a home game for the championship. If they
would have a home game. Yep.
With either Indiana or Oregon, which it seems like the assumption is that Indiana is going to win this game easily. Oregon, the score was deceptive. They got the shutout against Alabama, who people started to think, and I was among them, would be in there with a chance. I hadn't seen a lot of Oregon football. We know the coach, Lanning, is very, very popular, and deservedly so. He seems to do and say a lot of things that you would find sort of almost McDaniel-esque, sort of unique among that caliber of college coach in his approach. But they could have won that game by another 12 to 20 points, I thought, and they just thoroughly dominated Alabama. So being, I think, disregarded completely. And just dispensed of, because most people are assuming. Indiana looked great, by the way, Libby.
Yes. Well, Indiana is the team we keep wanting. They're the team that we've seen have success in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
That we don't give credit to in college football, because that team definitely doesn't get this far in college football. But they have a bunch of veterans, and they're coached really well, and their coach doesn't try to do more than he should or less than he should. And every game he treats differently. He doesn't treat every game like the same game. Whoever the opponent is, that's who he coaches his team against.
Yeah.
Which is the kind of thing that we don't see from really good coaches often, and it's why I stay to the fact that I don't think Mario Cristobal is a good coach. I think he's outcoached teams, and that's fine. But he's going to coach his way no matter. Okay, well, we'll see. Eventually, a team pushes you to be different and fluid, and if you can't have fluidity, a lot of time you get punched in the mouth and you lose. So, or even you get whipped by a feather because their finesse beats your physicality. Signetti's not that. It's like Signetti's teams, and they are a physical team. They are, but they have a real quarterback who can do a lot of different things, and he does. Like Indiana's probably the best team in the country right now. It's just really hard to say that. It's hard to feel.
They look great. They really did. The Canes' handling of Ohio State, I don't know how much that diminished Indiana's victory over Ohio State, because the Canes were actually more impressive against Ohio State in a game that I hate to use the meant more, but in all likelihood, it had to mean more than even the conference championship game and a chance to go undefeated and be the number one overall seed. So it backfired on Ryan Day. His whole business of trying to do the old Sugar Ray Leonard thing and go toe-to-toe with a monster, right? You just don't want to do it.
No, run.
Yeah. So my bets went up in smoke. A nice path to the championship there, possibly for the Hurricanes, with a home game against either Indiana or Oregon, if they can get by Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, supposedly in Lane Kiffin disarray, looked anything but the part as they came through in the clutch to pull that game out of their ass there against the Georgia Bulldogs. So a lot of exciting stuff. When we didn't even touch on a zillion other things that were happening in the world of sport. Black Monday, we'll see what happens, but I'm assuming that on Tuesday morning there will be no news about the Miami Dolphins even considering a coaching change. And we will have Mike McDaniel back for another year, and I would think that would be an indicator that 8-9 might be a lofty goal. So, people, line up now and get your season tickets to what figures to be an exciting year of Dolphin losing football. Hi, I'm Jeff DeForest for the Miami Dolphins here, and I wish I worked for Stephen Ross. I could be as incompetent as maybe people in the current administration and still somehow get voted back in and keep my job. It's just incredible. All right, Lubie, you have a good one. We'll talk to you later on. Thanks so much for being with us. As always here and putting things together. Good to be back with you guys. We'll do it again tomorrow. Kind of stretching out here is the old Bob Savage's tagline there, right up there with So Long from the Sunshine State. Gordon Soley was stretching out and heading home. Bob Savage, the fabled track announcer at Calder Racecourse when I first moved to town. He was there for a long, long time. And he had the show Let's See the Races, which was a predecessor to where I kind of got introduced here to sort of local television on a consistent basis, hosting a similar show that would now be, Lubie, so obsolete because everybody can watch and bet on these races live now. Didn't have that back in the day, Lubie. Back in the day, it was much better, my friend. Much better. It was quieter. It was simpler. You wouldn't have to wake up every day to Bombs Away Bombsy here trying to hit long shots at the track. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for being with us. For Mike Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. See you next time as we leave you know that. The time. Luke, a little fussy today. Is the kid okay? He's quieted down, man. What'd you do?
Yeah, it's weird. He gets fussy around 8:30, and then at 8:50, he just stops.
Alcohol. Yeah, nice. That's me.
I'm like, now you do that? I could have used
that. Happens when you're a baby, and it happens when you get older, man.
I guess.
You're raring to go, ready to party, and you come home, lay down for a second. Next thing you know, you wake up at 7 o'clock. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. We'll leave you know that. The time is 9:07.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.